I Kill Giants is a new indie film adapted from a graphic novel of the same name, and I just didn't really gel with this film. I didn't really like it that much.
A giant comes to a place and takes everything from you. And when it's done, it's like anything that made your life good was never even there. Giants not real.
So I have not read the graphic novel, but I feel like watching this movie, I think the graphic novel would make more sense for these giants and these scenes. But I think it becomes a weird for me. Because in the graphic novel, if it be just her imagination, it'd make more sense. But in the movie, it never feels like her imagination. It feels like she's insane and psychotic and schizophrenic and actually seeing all these things. And it's I mean, the whole time I was like, oh, is she going to do a school shooting? Like, is she going to shoot up the school? Is that where this movie's going? And I don't think I'm supposed to feel like that. Obviously, the whole giant thing is a metaphor for something else. And it's relatively heavy-handed, but at the same time, towards the end, it reveals what it actually is. And I'm like, oh, I thought that character was already dead. Well, okay, whatever. And I will spoil more later, but basically the idea is that this girl played by Madison Wolfe, she is a weird kid, but her dad is not around at all, and neither is her mom, and she seems to be being raised by her sister, who is having to work and not really able to do much with her, so she's kind of off on her own, and they live in this beautiful, idyllic ocean house with the woods around it, but she goes and pretends to kill giants. Like, she sets traps all in the woods that could easily kill a person, and there's a lot of things that are incredibly illegal and would be easily kill anyone that walked through here. Like, she has like giant things set up, and like I wasn't sure at first if they were all real, but then later on she meets a friend, and like she shows her everything, and she sees some of the traps. So the traps are real and brutal if there was actually a human and not a fictional giant that are roaming the woods. And they never really kind of talk about that. And then there's also Zoe Saldana, and she plays a school therapist that is trying to work with Madison, and try to try to help her, because obviously she's a troubled young girl. And she punches her. She punches people, and it's just like that's my biggest problem with this film. I think is that she is a very unlikable character. Like, I mean, I understand that she is going through some shit, but I mean, she is incredibly mean to people. And I mean, then there's also a bully that is really mean to her and is vicious, which is kind of odd. It felt like more a boy bully how it would act. Like, for a girl bully, it's pretty violent and vicious, but whatever. And I felt like, I don't know, the tone of it was weird. And like, the visuals are beautiful. Like, I mean, the forest where they are in the ocean they're gorgeous. And I mean, all the little like things that she has are well crafted. Like, even though this is an indie film, you tell that someone like made all these things. All like what she wears and all her little trinkets and stuff. They're cool. But it's just the story of it, I couldn't grasp. Like, I kept thinking, like, at a certain point, like, she's about to get in a fight with this bully, and she like carries around this purse that has like her magical hammer in it, and she pulls it out, and it's just like some like little toy thing, and it's like, oh, it's broken, and then she gets beat the shit out of. Like, the bully like knocks her unconscious. And that's the thing that like after that she don't really have much of a mark on her face, but whatever. But I mean, when I was watching that and she was about to reach into her purse, I kept thinking that, does she have a gun in there? Because like, she's saying, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you." And then the friend that betrayed her, you're gonna get your comeuppance next. I'm like, she's gonna murder these people. And then she pulled out the hammer. I'm like, oh, I thought you were gonna pull out a gun. Like, I meant the tone of it was weird because I mean, like when she starts talking about stuff and she's like going to the therapist talking about how like body parts are gonna rain from the sky and all this stuff and like everyone's gonna die, like especially now with so many school shootings. I mean, I thought that's where it was going. I mean, she was a danger to herself and others, but it seems like that. Oh, it's just fine. She has to learn a lesson and learn that fight her own battles. Like, and then and to talk about the other big issue with the film, I do have to spoil it. It doesn't really spoil that much because it never really showed, but it's goofy. But I mean, if you want to see it, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10. Or maybe a 4.5, something like that. But like, there are some. It is a pretty film, and when they're fighting the giants, some of the stuff. I mean, for an indie film, the CGI is pretty decent, but it's just maybe it's not for me. Like, I kept getting caught on things I think maybe I wasn't supposed to be caught on, like the things that were messy that felt like, whoa, that's really weird, and maybe some other people might really like it, but for me, I hated some parts of it. So on to kind of more full spoilers. But it turns out that she's, fighting this Titan now that comes up. And at a certain point, like, throughout the film, like, her friend is there, like, so you know that stuff isn't real. But she had, like, sets up this trap in this old train station, and she, like, electrified and exploded the trains. And it looked like almost it could have been a giant there. But I think she just exploded the train. I mean, incredibly dangerous. But that they're not actually a giant. But then she fights this Titan, but the Titan is also like along with this freak storm that came up. So it's almost like you try to think they could be real, but they're obviously not real because when she's fighting the Titan and she has her magic hammer back, which it reminds me a bit of the one Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 12, especially because she has the bunny ears. But like she fights that and is like, I'm not gonna let you kill my mom. And like, oh yeah, the giants are cancer. The giant is cancer, and her mom is dying of cancer. And then it's like, wait, so your mom has been dying of cancer, and you've been ignoring her for a long time, and it just doesn't make any sense because again, my dad died of cancer, and that was pancreatic cancer. But I like after he came in, he was going through some treatments. And at a certain point, he was at home with us, and we were taking care of him. I mean, it's not easy, but even then, we had a nurse come in to help us, and then we went into went into end of life hospice care towards the end. But in this, I mean, like you never really see any hint that her mom is upstairs, bedridden, dying. And it's like, it's weird because, I mean, she would have to have a nurse. And you never see a nurse come in. You never see it. When she actually finally goes up there, like you see she has, bags and stuff around, the instruments, stuff around her that a nurse would have to be taken care of, but you never see a nurse come by. And I mean, her sister is working, so I don't see how she could also take care of the mom. Like, I don't see who's taking care of her dying mom. And I mean, I know, like, for me, it was tough because there's so much pain involved with this stage 4, like, so that he has a lot of pain meds, so it wasn't much that he could deal with. Like, he wasn't really he wasn't like himself towards the end at all. But for her, like, when I actually finally had the discussion with her, that's her mom. Like, her mom is very cogent. And, talking to her like, oh, like, and it's a nice scene, but I couldn't wrap my head around that. So you've been going around fighting these fake giants instead of trying to spend some time with your dying mom, and it bothered me. Like it like that part. It like I couldn't get it. Like I was like, that's I didn't like that part. It really annoyed me. And then in the end, there's supposed to be a big scene where like after. Like, she's accepted the giant, the cancer, and she, like, going to the funeral, but then now she's dressed completely normally. Like, there's no aspect of originality in what she's wearing. And it's like, I was kind of like, I don't know. Like, this person was so different, and now that they accepted, now she's completely normal again. And it's just, I didn't get it. Like, I wish they, if it may make more sense in a book or a graphic novel, but it felt like she was insane, and all of a sudden she's not insane. Like, it didn't feel like she was imagining these things. I mean, it felt like they were real, and she thought they were real, and she thought they were going to kill everyone. Like, something in the transformation to a movie just didn't work for me. Again, I give it like a 4 out of 10. I really didn't like it, but other people might like it. It may just be me. I'm not sure. But thanks for watching. Check out the replay from my head or subscribe to me over here. Thanks.